Hey folks, so we're here with Mike and it is Mabon. What does Mabon mean to you?
Equinox is what I've always known it by, and this is what is it? Yeah, it's changing from summer to winter basically, isn't it? When the weight of there's more night than there is day now.
And are we pretty much spot on? No, when is it? It's Wednesday,
it wanders around
Thursday.
from the 21st to the 23rd, and I'm
Right.
not sure quite honestly which it is this year, but we're pretty well right on the button this time. Yeah.
And so my understanding is that Mabon is a fairly constructed modern thing, and it hasn't necessarily been celebrated as that term for that long.
I never heard of that.
But no, so equinox. So and having Googled it quickly, it's often phrased as the second harvest. So, and I don't know a lot about this kind of stuff, but they were talking about the kind of first harvest being more like the grains, and then second harvest being like all the fruit. So it's a busy time of year for farmers, right? Like this is a time.
Oh yeah, there'll be apples
harvest.
and potatoes hurtling up and down all the lanes in Herefordshire, more than there are cars at the moment.
Yeah.
And hops in our little valley as well. Loads of hops in the valley here.
Yeah, I mean we've gone past a lot of apples on our way, quite a lot on the floor. They're all cider apples, so they don't necessarily have to be picked.
That's right. That's how I spent my childhood for about 6 weekends before fireworks night. I'd work every Saturday and Sunday.
Up this way or Somerset?
No, this is when I was down in Somerset, which is heart of Coates. Mr. Coates used to live in the orchard in our village.
Because you were fairly North Bristol though, weren't you?
No.
No.
I was over the Somerset side of it. I'm not sure. This is before anyone had even conceived the idea of Avon. I was in Somerset, and I used to cycle over the bridge into Bristol.
Yeah. To
go to school and come back into Somerset. Pick the apples
great.
Every weekend, then blow it all on fireworks.
Really?
Everything, it all just went up in smoke. Just like custard, I didn't like fruit puddings when I was at school, so I had custard.
Yeah.
I was allowed to just have custard, and I've eaten my quota of custard, and I've had my quota of fireworks now. I can't stand bloody fireworks now. I don't like fireworks now. It's all ridiculous.
So it was a weekend job. This would be mid-teens, early teens?
Teens.
Yeah.
It was basically like whole childhood. Yeah.
And was that because of your dad, or just because
no,
that's what everyone was up to?
No, it's what the local villagers did. The adults would be there getting the best apples, and the kids would be there just sort of picking up the little scrawny ones, and we were all on piecework.
Yeah.
I think it was 10p. This is before it was pence. It was 10p for a bloody great bag like that, I think.
Yeah. And then what would you do with your fireworks?
Set them off.
What, just in your garden with your mates? Yeah. Amazing.
Bangers, squibs.
Squibs? What are squibs?
Squibs are little things you light, and they jump about the place and you chase you around the garden.
Wow. Yeah.
You youngsters don't know half of what life was like back in them days.
Oh, my parents definitely didn't let me do that kind of thing. No.
Yeah.
No, and then well, let's not talk about that. So, well, here we are. We're next to some harvest. So, why don't you talk us through what we've got here?
So this is the runner beans, and I was a bit cheesed off. They didn't really seem to be doing much, but since the main programme of courses finished, I've got into a lovely little daily routine, and I walk up the garden with 2 buckets. One is my piss pot, the other is a little pot for picking raspberries. I do my qigong exercises for 7 minutes, pick the raspberries, put the piss bottle into the watering cans, come down here and water these things. Because I went on a course at Centre for Alternative Technology.
Where's that? That's in mid-Wales.
North Wales.
North Wales, yeah.
Went up there for the 10th anniversary. Well, Tamsin and I went along for the 10th anniversary of my business, and I was going to do they had alternative sewage course, and it was 4 days, and one was dry compost toilets, and then after that it was sort of reed beds and things like that.
Yeah.
After the first couple of days, I said, I know all I need to know now, and they'd explained about the cycle that you eat your food, and you take on what you need, and you expel everything that you don't need.
Yeah.
And presumably that is stuff that the plants needed in order to be plants to be
Yeah.
beans and things. So you give it back to them,
Oh, that's nice.
and it's a lovely little cycle. And now they're talking on the news about how crops are going to be more expensive because they can't get urea from Ukraine.
Yeah.
I was explaining this to our mate Paul, the gardener, and I was jumping around saying, there's 50 million people excreting urea every bloody day,
Yeah.
Okay, if you live in a block of flats, there's not much you can do, and it could get a bit of a problem. But this is, there's a lovely little book called Pure Gold or something like that, which is about, which is about this process, how we produce all this amazingly useful stuff, and it becomes a problem, and there's poor people in, sort of having to deal with all our sewage and things like that, whereas in fact it's pure gold. It's all part of the magic of things growing.
Yeah.
And we're in this blessed situation where we've got a lovely garden here, and I'm able to grow my beans, and I've picked about 8 pounds of beans over the last couple of days. Yeah.
Great.
And look, there's another whole load ready to go as well today.
So how long are you able to pick these for? They keep coming for like a month, 6 weeks kind of thing? Because we had some of these when we were here in August, didn't we?
Did we pick some beans then? I should
think
have had to look.
you had just a tiny handful.
Just be the
you had
first,
to really hunt for them.
Yeah, you had to look for them. And what really upsets me is that I was going to switch it all around, and we'll have a look at the French beans over there, which are where the runner beans have been for the last 4 or 5 years.
Yeah.
And I thought, well, we'll put French beans there because you need to move stuff around a bit. And I dug a patch there for the runner beans, but they didn't like it there. It was much too shady, so I put them out here. And there you'll see there's a few great big runner beans, like those horrible things you bought for me this morning, which I can't get at now. I've got the step ladder there. I've just put the step ladder up there, and we can. But when they're climbing up the workshop, they're spread out, and they go, 15 foot tall or something like that, and I can get at them with the ladder. So runner beans. So I don't know what one does picking runner beans if you don't have a step ladder, but and they don't want to be too big.
Is that on the big side?
No, that's
right.
It's just on the small side, but they're nice and tender, and you don't want stringy. But we've got a bean slicer. I'll have to show you the bean slicer.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And that takes, if there is any stringy bits, it takes the stringy bits out off the outside. But we've been had the luxury of not having to eat any stringy beans. I've ignored them for a little bit, and so there are a few old stringy ones probably buried in there. What we got?
They're nice flowers as well, aren't they?
They are pretty flowers, yeah. But yeah, that's a nice size to.
Yeah, that's a good one
to pick them.
How do you cook your beans?
Well, put them through the slicer.
Yeah.
And then about 6 minutes.
Okay.
And then with some
boiled or steamed?
Boiled. I boil them, and then smother them in cheese sauce.
Oh.
And that's a bit of a thing here. If I've finished the courses now, but when the beans are in full flow, when I've got the courses on, then that's lunchtime. Is runner beans in cheese sauce.
So what's in your cheese sauce? Is it like a bechamel sauce with
bechamel
cheese?
Sauce with milk and then a load of cheese on top?
Cheddar.
Yeah, usually.
Sounds great. Maybe that's what we should have for lunch.
We could do that. That's a good idea, and we could have some sweet corn as well.
Okay.
Yeah. So these are really nice little young ones, but there's so many. Might as well just pick them while I'm there.
Great.
And then we'll get some sweet corn. So I pulled that whole patch there with sweet corn. You have to have them in a block so that all the pollen falls off the fluffy bits at the top and hits all those little tassely bits.
Oh, amazing! That's how it works, is it?
Yeah, each of those little strings is fixed to one little yellow bit of bean.
Yeah, great.
And we've had the perfect summer for it. This is because Tamsin said, let's plant sweet corn this summer.
Yeah.
Knowing full well it was going to be a hot, dry summer.
Genius.
She's a clever woman. And so we've been eating them for the last, sort of month or so, 1 or 2 sweet corn each day.
Yeah, great.
1 or 2 sweet corn each. So yeah, we're nearly at the last of them. So I think the equinox is a good time for us to have a sweet corn each for lunch. So
Perfect.
I've got my eye on 3 of them, but we'll have a look, see what's in there. Because you don't tend to buy them like this nowadays. That's how you used to buy them, but now they come all stripped and.
Have you ever opened it up and then there's just something like strawberries inside?
Not like strawberries, but sometimes you don't get anything. Look at that.
Oh yeah. Look,
Oh my God.
beautiful. Yeah.
Oh, isn't that just perfect? Now these are the last few little ones that haven't been fertilised, but again, it's a bloody miracle, isn't it? You know, each of these little strings.
Yes. Genius.
It's one of those. And apparently, where are we now? 20 past 11. That's right. It's best if you eat them with about an hour of picking. Apparently.
Really?
Yeah, that's what somebody said.
Fresh.
Fresh from
I
the
did,
from the garden.
One of the years when I was tramping about, I did spend a few weeks in a field next to a field of
Yeah.
just help myself. It was a bit naughty, really, but
It's a bit naughty, but
when you're in the leaves, you can just chuck them straight on the fire in the leaves, and they'll
you
steam.
can, yeah. If you've got a good fire going, yeah.
Great. All right. So we'll get one of those each, will we? And then
Yeah.
we'll
Indeed. Have
we
them
should
with
probably
the beans.
go and have a look at some apples, should we?
We'll have a
Apples.
look at apples now. Yeah.
All right. So we're oh, that's not this tree.
No, that's the Blenheim orange. Eaters come cookers. Those. Not many on
Right.
there this year. I'm afraid.
Nice. And then this is our sunset, is it?
This is our sunset
Yeah.
where we looked at when it was back in February. Apparently,
Did a
I
bit
think.
pruning.
Did a bit of pruning, and I've just about a week ago, as soon as the last course finished,
Yeah.
I got my cool box empty, and then got a dozen boxes, low profile boxes, lots of old newspaper.
So that's in your kind of dining area, right? So for your classes, you normally have like your lunch food in there, but
Yeah.
now courses over, that can be emptied.
That can be used there for the winter,
Yeah.
and I'll show you that in a minute. Yeah, but we 107 apples I've got in there now, and we won't touch those while we've still got apples on the tree that we can pick. There's a little clump that I missed. Look at them, lovely.
Great.
And the fancy looking ones up there have a red glow to them, which is why it's called sunset. But these are probably not so ripe. They're still got little
Oh,
bit
so
of
they
bite
go
to
a
them.
little bit redder as they're ripening.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah, and it's the ones up there. They sort of get a suntan. something
Yeah,
like
that one's a little bit sun blushed. Yeah.
There's that one there. Yeah, that's got. Oh, look at that. Oh, don't know. Quite a few of them got funny little things going on, but still good fruit. This is like what's the name? You know, there's the good side of the apple and there's the dodgy side.
Who's that?
One of those kids' stories
Oh, right, from the
Brilliant.
olden days.
from the old Snow White.
Yeah.
And we got the apples down the bottom there. They did that. They had a red
Yeah.
side and a white side, and the wicked queen, slices it in half.
Right.
Puts poison on one side.
Oh,
and something
that's
like
so
that.
mean. I don't
Sleeping
remember
Beauty.
that.
No.
Well, and so looking at this Mabon malarkey,
Yeah.
they slightly contrived talking about cutting the apple in half, and you've got the 5. It's like a pentagram. Your
Is
seeds.
that right? The seeds. Is that
Yeah.
right? Didn't know about
But
that.
I wouldn't ever cut an apple in half that way anyway. So
Well, I of course, I'd put it on the apple peeler or a slicer.
Yeah.
Have we got that on film yet? Have we
Not
got
yet,
the apple peeler?
no.
We'll
might
do
have
that
to
in a
do
minute.
that.
Yeah.
Well,
This
'cause
is
that's
the
what
perfect
you-
apple for it. Yeah.
Yeah. Great. Okay. Well, come on then. Let's go and have a look at your freezer.
Well, we ought to look at the raspberries. That's another story.
Well, are these are autumn raspberries, are
I just planted a row in front of the workshop when we moved here 25 years ago, and they've crawled along through the garden, and how can you stop them?
No, you can't. I don't think.
This would be a wicked thing to do that. Yeah.
What? So they need another week or two, don't they?
Oh no, this is it. This is where I come. Just down there is where I do my exercises in the morning, and I've
Yeah.
got a little bucket, another little bucket. Got loads of lovely little plastic buckets for different things. So I've got a raspberry bucket with a handle that'll stick down in my belt,
Yeah.
and I've got 2 hands to pick the raspberries. I can show you
Genius.
that as well if you.
And then you have those for your breakfast, do you?
And then we have them for the breakfast.
Yeah.
Put an apple through the apple peeler core and slicer, half each.
Great.
Load of homemade granola on top. Man, this is the Garden of Eden, really. It really is at the
Lovely,
moment. September is a beautiful time to be alive, really.
September really is. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Come on then. Raspberries. Those aren't ready though, are they?
Well, it's good. I picked them this morning. I picked all
Yeah.
the ones that were.
Right, come on then. So you're going to show us your raspberry.
I was going to show you
picking.
the raspberry. So that little hook there goes down in me belt, and that gives me 2 hands.
Ta-da.
And this one I'm pleased with because my raspberries, they've been getting some kind of rot down at base, and there's a tendency for them to fall over. So I wrapped the wisteria around there earlier in the year, and
That's genius.
that's holding them up now as well. So
Love that.
I saved these 3 for you this morning. That's still a bit raw. There you go, Barn.
Thank you very much.
I can't resist.
Looks like a good one.
This is a good one. I was saving it, especially.
Oh
I thought
yeah,
that one's for Barn.
that's a real good
It's
one.
a real good raspberry, that. Fresh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice. Thank you very much.
But I'll not pick any more because it's just about enough for breakfast every day.
Yeah. Perfect.
What we'll do though, I'll get some ice out of the freezer,
Yeah.
and then I'll show you my collection of 107 apples.
Okay. Yeah, we'll go and check on the apples. All right. So we've got our cooler box.
We got the cooler
Now what
box.
happens?
So I get a bag,
Yeah.
open the box.
Do you want
Wanna
me to
open
do
the box?
open it?
Okay, and then I'm going to press the button on the thermometer, and we're going to see what it says before it starts
Okay.
warming up. So
Ready, steady,
go.
ready,
There is a knack to it, Barney.
You're not.
This is-
Oh, quick! Press the
Okay,
button.
press the button quick. And it says 7.3. That's a bit hotter than I want
Ooh.
it to be.
Right,
so I
let's
think
get these out.
7.4. Yeah, chuck them in.
In.
7.6. Oh, it's gone from bad to worse, Barn. Okay,
Right.
so they go there. They'll go back in the freezer. Here comes the new supply. We'll do that together. It's actually still hovering. Yeah. Okay. Sorry. Not. That's it. That goes in the middle. So we got. It's actually 7 point. It's cooling down now. That's
Is it?
amazing, isn't it? Yeah. And there's 9 boxes. 4b3, except for one box which has got big apples, and I could only get 11 in that. So that's
Great.
why I've only got 107 rather than the usual 108 apples.
So
And
they're all wrapped in a bit of newspaper.
they're all in a little newspaper nest. Yeah. If I'd been patient, I could have waited for you to be here when I did that, but couldn't wait. Had to get on with it. So they'll sit there now, and we'll carry on eating what's left on the tree.
Great.
And then when we've finished that lot, sometime in October, we'll probably start on these. And I'll bring a tray down to the house, probably put them in the bottom of the fridge,
Great.
take one out overnight so Tamsin doesn't upset her teeth with the cold apple.
Yeah, you don't want to eat a freezing apple.
You don't want to freeze an apple in the morning, no.
So from November, you get
October,
through.
that'll keep us going till Christmas.
Okay,
Should
great.
do. I've got
Yeah.
a friend called Chris who he likes tweaking with clever gadgets, and he's got some
Yeah.
old freezers which he's converted into fridges which run at 4 degrees, and he's still eating last year's apples that he's just had in there.
Wow.
And he's running around panicking now because he's got to get this year's apples in there
Get them in.
before it's too late.
Harvest
It's not like
time.
we're saving loads of money or anything, but
No.
it all helps, and it's just
Yeah.
part and parcel. This is, I've said before, old Philip Clisset, the old chair maker who brought us up this way because of the wood that was for sale near his cottage. He
Yeah.
spent more time in the garden than he did making chairs. And I can see why. It's all part and parcel of that magic that Mother Nature is providing you with all these things. And I kind of think it's a bit sacrilegious if you don't
Make the
don't
most
take
of
what
it.
she gives. Yeah, it's like someone saying, "Would you like this?" It's like when you bought me those beans. I said, "No, I'm not interested." You know, it's a rude thing to say to somebody. But fortunately, you hadn't been sweating over them and growing them.
No, someone else had.
Someone else had, yeah, and they didn't harvest them in time. You know, so
No.
they were being sacrilegious. So it's all right if I'm sacrilegious to them.
Yeah.
Anyway, the next thing I've got to show you is the apple peeler corer slicer. Oh, right, next to the jam as well.
Yeah,
So
because I'm
rather-
sure in the past you used to freeze quite a lot, didn't you, as well?
Used to freeze quite a lot, yeah. Of
Of
apples.
ones that have been processed through the peeler corer slicer.
Yeah, French apple tarts, lovely. You come up with whole load of little apple rings, and then you can make French apple tarts, put them in the freezer. But like I say, our cooking apple hasn't done very well this year. But when I get some time, when I'm not talking to you,
Yeah.
I'll make a French
Good
apple
crack
tart.
on.
And yeah, I've made one already this year. Yeah,
Great.
lovely.
All right,
Okay,
well,
I'll
come
show
on
you
then.
that,
Let's
yeah.
see this machine. Your favourite contraption. Is it your favourite?
It's one of many, Barn. One of many. Okay, Barn, so here's
Right.
that lovely little apple that we picked. Here's an apple peeler core slicer. Before I forget to mention it, there's I've got a thing about counting 10 jam jars of jam, Victoria plums off the plum tree, damsons off up there, and apples from there. So it's done only a few food meters now, and that's a real treat, that one. There's a lot of sugar in there as well, which has come from God knows where. But okay, so here's the apple peeler core slicer. So I pop that stalk end first. I'll have to stalk behind, and then the trick is to get your finger there and just give it a rotation or two so it's centered up nicely. Push that on tight, and off we go. And I've got the compost bucket sat beneath us there.
Brilliant.
And there we go. And if I do it right, you can eject that. That goes in the bucket. And
Ta-da!
da-da, da-da.
That is amazing, actually. And top tip on the centering, it's like turning on a lathe all over again.
It is just, all these years of using a pole lathe. And then me being a fussy what's-it, I do that. And
It's all good compost.
it's all good compost. And then get a knife. And slice, one slice there. And then you can just...
Yeah, go on, chuck us one. And also, so other things I would say are that makes a nice ring, so you can put that on a bit of string and dry them out if you wanted
Exactly,
to.
yeah.
Seen lots of people do that.
Yeah. So like you were saying, you get a whole load of these on a string or a hazel rod, another use for a hazel rod, and dry them over the fire. Yeah.
Brilliant.
If you're lucky to have a wood burning stove and a nice ingle nook or whatever. Yeah. Not everybody does, I'm afraid, Barn, but
No.
us fortunate ones again.
Go on, let's have another one. Have you, which hand did you use for carrying the piss pot?
Good question. Good question. I can't remember.
Right, on that note, shall we
We'll
go and do
that.
the
Yeah, I've just
watering?
done there. Yeah, there
Yeah.
it is. Look.
Cool. Oh, there it is, yeah.
So I'll just tip a bit more into that bucket. And then open the magic bottle. Half in there. Half in there. And then off to the beans. Yeah.
Can't believe this glorious sunshine. So nice. And so you were saying it's been cold. I know it's been cold in the evenings, but the last few days for us have been really sunny.
Yes, interesting, yeah. I haven't been, I've been doing sort of admin and things for the Green Party leaflet deliveries, so that's not
So that's the turn for you, isn't it, this time of year? Now your workshops are all done.
Yeah.
You're busy harvesting and
Yeah.
you'll be out on the campaign trail.
Out on the campaign trail, we've got something less than 8 months until the local elections next May, and when hopefully you'll hear about Herefordshire setting the pace in the new politics of the new age under our king, under our green king.
Do you think there'll be any positiveness come out of that?
I like to think
he's got to
so.
step away, I suppose.
I
from
told you
his
I gave him a
business.
copy of Green Woodwork, didn't I, when I was
Yes.
doing involved in a workshop thing over there. So that's got to, just the fact that he's touched the book, whether he's read it or not, it's bound to have our king has touched a copy of Green Woodwork. It's got to be good.
Well, yeah, I mean, regardless of whether you're a royalist or not, I suppose if you're settled on the way things are, it is no bad thing that our king is big on green causes.
It can't be bad, can it?
Certainly bigger on it than all the corporations.
Yeah, yeah.
So talking of green things, how are your green beans? Are these green beans? No, these are runner beans.
These are runner beans.
What's a green bean?
Well,
I've got all confused now.
These are green beans, as opposed to French beans. Do you mean that's the few French beans we picked?
Yeah.
I should go and pick some more of those for our meal tonight.
So you don't
But
slice French beans, do you?
Don't
You just
slice
have them
French
whole?
beans, no. And
I
that,
don't like the
that looks
texture
a
of
bit
them
on
on
the
the
fat
skin.
side, but still not stringy in the slightest, and
No.
that'd be really nice and crunchy. And although I'm using this thing that should take any stringy bits off the side, I'm just, again, yeah, because I'm spoiled for choice, I'm only picking them nice and young and fresh,
Yeah.
so they don't have any string in them.
Because the stringy bits are, the worst bits of stringiness are on the edge, aren't they?
They are
Yeah.
two little strings down the edge, but yeah, I pick them before they get to that stage.
Yeah, they
Got to keep-
smell lovely.
Got to keep the wife happy. They do, don't they?
It's very green, yeah.
Glistening in the sunshine.
Beautiful.
Isn't that lovely? And get some white cheese sauce on the go.
Yeah. Well, we'll
And
go and do that in a minute, but we should say goodbye to these guys now. And we'll be...
Hello.
we'll be... no, you meant to be saying goodbye.
Oh,
Not
right,
hello.
yeah, okay.
So we'll be back for Halloween in kind of 6 weeks' time.
Yeah.
And
I
doubt...
won't be as jolly then, I'm afraid.
No?
All this euphoria will have subsided, and I'll be facing... All I shall have to look forward to is elections next May.
Yeah.
That's going to keep me going through the winter this year.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we'll try and cheer you up.
Do your best, yeah.
Yeah. Cool. And thanks for this. It's
Lovely,
been really,
lovely
really
to
nice
have you
day.
here to share
Yeah.
it. It's great.
Looking forward to eating it.
That'd be good.
Yeah.
Tell you.
Great. I'll see you guys later as well.